It is late summer, and the country is warm, perhaps too warm. The deep velvet nights are hot. It is difficult to find a place of comfort. And as the summer wore on, you were going about your daily lives, but increasingly you heard news of severe heat waves in certain parts of Sweden. And those heat waves turned to droughts. And those droughts turned to crop failure. And those crop failures turned to a kingdom in crisis. But being relatively affluent and in your own little castle with a river flowing by, you were able to mitigate the increasing heat. But the news has brought forth trouble in the kingdom. Crime, begging, thievery are on the rise. And also another curious trait. A number of stories, and to a certain extent, I think, especially in Edvard and Ernst's circles, an increase in leaving the country as people get on boats to travel to other parts of the world that offer opportunities, since it literally seems like things are burning up here in Sweden. Soldiers who do not re-enlist, students who do not complete their studies, or who graduate and tell Professor Magnuson that they're heading for America, a land of opportunity where the streets are paved with gold. But you have work that you have done. The Castle Gillenkreutz, continues to be developed. The outsides, as much as they can in the middle of a heat wave, look better. The insides are slowly being repaired. And I suspect that each of the characters has been doing something since returning home from what are now very idyllic memories of being in a green and cool alpine valley. A little harrowing for having to dealing with a Neck and his cohorts, but you look back on that time fondly because it was a time of cool and comfort, whereas now it is hot and a fan please and routine swims
How's the
in the
air
river.
quality?
So interestingly enough, the air quality is of the kind of air quality of like, there's a lot of dust in the air as a lot of vegetation is dying and turning into that dust that just kind of gets whipped up in the air. But not like a pollution, although there are stories of wildfires in the south.
Okay.
But let's kind of go around the horn. What has our early summer looked like for everybody? What has your character been up to?
Just keep instructing where Edvard can, if need be, and helping around the castle, and then just kind of being gone.
The heat wave does not affect home. It seems to
Yeah.
be a little more resistant than the rest of, and so I guess maybe Edvard has a bit of an advantage on finding someplace nice to be.
Yeah. And I think what's weird is that Edward's still, you can tell that he is a very much a stuffy individual because he's still wearing his uniform, still covered up. Doesn't look like he's sweating all that much.
That's fair. That's fair. You have subjected your life has been a life of service and physical activity, and that makes sense. And
But
things.
possibly like every so often when he thinks he's alone, he's like,
Never let him see you sweat.
Nope. And then just like focus, like the cop from Sunny with a Chance of Meatball, being like, "Get back in there, sweat."
Yep.
Uh,
Outstanding. So while Edvard is minding over matter, his perspiration system, what else are folks doing?
Well, with lectures mostly done for the season, Ernst always finds it paradoxical that in the summer months I'm almost more busy with my academic pursuits because I'm advising young budding researchers. I'm working on my own projects and things. And now that we have developed an occult library, I am slowly trying to work through my various contacts to see if we can start perhaps getting it filled.
So, the occult library means that certain things are going to be coming in various different states, but also in various different scripts. What is it that Ernst has under his belt that's going to be able to help tackle some of that stuff?
Oh, well, Ernst, with his interest in folklore, is a middling but serviceable scholar in a variety of languages. European, primarily, Germanic and Romance languages. Get any further south than Italy, and Ernst is at a loss, but Germanic tongues he can fake his way through. Romance languages a little bit less so.
You probably, I imagine that you must have in grammar school had that hour where you had to recite all of your Latin conjugations, right?
The declensions of nouns, the conjugations of verbs. Yes.
Yep. I can understand. Like, I really don't want to learn another language. They beat the joy out of it with my Latin lessons. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. I don't know. Do we want to throw an occult book in there? What do we want to throw in there?
I think we should throw a scroll of yokai from Japan. Just to mess with them.
You really want to stretch Ernst here.
I do. I want him to feel like, this seems important. My sixth sense is going off, but I don't know what this is.
Yeah, his entire quest the rest of the summer would be to find someone who can translate Japanese.
But I think that's a bit of a stretch.
I'm not 100% certain. My years are off, but we're at the right point for the
Dutch would be in there. Would be in Japan. Well,
what year is it again?
I'm trying to remember when Japan was like, all right, no more foreigners.
We're talking about the Meiji Restoration. I'm trying to remember when that is.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
we're trying to remember when
that's like the mid 1800s.
Yeah, are there young Japanese scholars in Sweden? I mean, students probably.
Yeah. Well, I know that like Holland had a big, influence on the Japanese trade.
Holland and Philippines were the only two who weren't kept out between 1603 and 1867.
And then America was like, let us in.
Well, when you're Admiral Perry and you float into Tokyo Harbor with some iron steam gunboats and you're like, let's trade, right?
Yeah, which was 1854, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So,
yeah, we are.
And plus, the Dutch had been trading there for
centuries.
Centuries.
Yeah. So, are there? Do you have the occasional Japanese student at the Uppsala University? I mean, sure.
Yeah, I would presume so. They come and go.
Yeah.
I love how I just mentioned this as a joke and we're rolling with it.
Why not?
It is historically accurate.
half Dutch, half Japanese student.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Because the Dutch were trading.
Yeah. There
Yeah,
would have been some intermingling.
And I mean, at the time, the West was very fashionable in Japan, so students would want to go into Europe.
I know. I think I saw something about how like you could have a historically accurate RPG with an old French pirate, a cowboy,
Yep.
a
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
disavowed
Oh.
samurai,
Yes.
and Sherlock Holmes.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And it's all
Actually
historically
sounds-
accurate.
Yeah, the
That
19th
actually
century
sounds
as
like
well.
it'd be a lot of fun.
It does.
And then for no reason, throw them in space.
Yeah, why
I
not?
mean, the
Why
Aether is real, right? Let's go.
get a little Jules Verne in there.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Let's go.
A Victorian era set.
Space
Space
1999. I've got that. We could do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's play Vaesen.
Yes.
Yeah. Back to work.
Back to
Stop
work.
goofing off, you guys.
Sorry. Treasure or Tatiana, what has your summer been looking like?
You want to go first, Tati?
Sure.
Okay.
Tatiana had this grandiose scheme that she laid out that has yet to bear fruit, and so she's been a little bit disappointed, and so has been working with gardener Signalind at the house and trying to do a little bit of matchmaking with her Pama, Stellan. Also, with Gardener Signa, because she's part of the house and knows kind of more of the mission and stuff that they do, it's how much poisonous flowers can I plant around the house that make the house look pretty that I can also take clippings with me. And so she's been working on mistletoe and poppy, getting some black hellebore, like anything she can get to kind of flower around the house. But the story she's telling Stellan is, Trish and I are working on this butterfly house, and I really want monarch butterflies. And she's naming off all of the butterflies that are poisonous or cause severe indigestion if their wings are kind of disintegrated into beverages. And she's just like, I want pretty poisonous things. It's fine. Look, I'm being good. I haven't written Mama a letter. I'm just growing lots and lots of poison. And also kind of working with Edward and...
Girl needs a hobby, okay?
Edward and the gardener about her sleight of hand for kind of dropping things into beverages, mixing different herbs with like someone's smoking tobacco, just kind of looking for ways that, if someone wants to put her in a bear trap or a closet, she's going to get them back this time.
I can positively affirm that there are no bear traps in our future. Closets, they're everywhere. They're ubiquitous. I can't help you there, but bear traps, yeah.
Well, when some attractive male inevitably wrongs her, she's going to be ready with dozens of poisonous or stomach-turning powders. So.
All right. Duly noted. All right. What is the Pepto-Bismol in this game?
It's just chalk.
Ginger.
I have I have no idea what half of those plants look like, but I'm sure the castle looks great. And Greyfoot helps out. Greyfoot seems to just enjoy the concept of just planting. Greyfoot, as you're doing this, every once in a while he says, some corn would be good. Some wheat or barley or something. Usually places where you plant, it's stuff you can eat that doesn't try to kill you. Oh, this hemlock bush? Okay, sounds good. I'll help.
For the love of God, grow some potatoes.
How about an apple tree at least? There's a little bit of poison in an apple seed, so it still qualifies, but you can eat the apple. Yeah. Food. So Greyfoot's trying to help out as much as he can.
As long as they're pretty. So like Greyfoot encouraged her to plant like roses and chrysanthemums and things like that. Like chrysanthemums taste good. Roses, they have thorns and just kind of they're
Yeah.
pretty. And
Oh, you know, carrots, they're related to Queen Anne's lace.
oh
so
no,
they're
it's all
so
gotta be it's all
pretty.
gotta be it's all gotta be flower related or ivy or something.
Yeah, yeah. Well, carrots when they bloom, they look like Queen Anne's lace. So
And every once in a while, as Tatiana's going through snipping and talking about this will be great in someone's drink, like Greyfoot's just kind of like sitting on the top of a stone bench, just like eating out of his porridge bowl, just like
that girl ain't right.
that girl ain't right.
I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what.
Well, no, and I think the other thing she does is he has his porridge, but also not every part of poisonous plants is poisonous, and so it's like, look, this is beautiful nectar. Or hey, here's a little bit of a honeycomb or something.
That's great. I like my porridge plain.
I'll say
It's just like he's like, no.
But like you'll watch over my plants while we're gone, right?
Of course, that's what I do.
Yeah, just don't eat the butterflies. They might give you a stomachache.
I don't. Sure, okay. I mean, I know not to eat bugs.
Yeah,
every
the
once in a
prettier
while,
ones are
every
the
once in a
poisonous
while,
ones.
every once in a while, Greyfoot will be like in the morning, like walking up to Trish. So, Tatiana hasn't been by with any of her plants, has she? Is the porridge is? Have you walked away from the pot in the last 5 minutes? Has this been left unattended?
Don't worry, I've been keeping a close eye on it,
Okay,
Greyfoot.
good.
And I've been trying to get her to grow some catnip for you, but she just won't budge.
No, catnip has flowers. She would buy that. She's trying to
Oh,
get
there
a
you go.
peace offering, and I just don't think Greyfoot trusts her.
Yeah.
And so I think she just
wants grains.
Well, and like Greyfoot is not a cat, but in Trish's mind, they spend a lot of their time sleeping as a cat. So they just are like, "Oh, don't do the lavender. It's toxic for cats." I mean, Greyfoot might get curious. "Oh, that's a lot of nice bugs. You know, cats love grasshoppers." "Oh, no, okay. You want to do the poisonous ones. All right."
Sometimes Greyfoot will like pull out a little knapsack that's full of all of the salmon kibble that you've been giving him. And he just
dried pieces.
throws
Yeah,
it
like dried
over his
pieces of
shoulder
meat.
and walks to the river. Or sometimes when Tatiana's not looking, he'll like kind of dig underneath one of the plants and just kind of throw it in there and just like,
Yeah.
I'll go to you
Fertilizer.
somehow.
Yeah. He could use it for fishing or fertilizer, but
Yep.
he probably isn't interested in munching on it. It's not plain cereal.
And I think Edward is tired of trying to tell them. It's like he just wants
Cereal.
grain porridge. It's like
Little bit of
all
butter,
he-
little bit of butter, sometimes some honey.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, he indulges sometimes. Some butter.
On special occasions, yes.
Oh, so rich.
And Ernst is definitely also trying to urge Tatiana to at least set aside a little bit of space for grains.
okay. She will, but definitely like with the gardening and everything, there are the most beautiful flower arrangements that she's putting out and sending to people. And probably Stellan's been having conversations with her of, you're not really expressing friendship when you send someone hellebore and poppies. I know they're pretty, but yeah.
They're beautiful, but the message is please die.
I always wanted to learn the flower language just to do that to people. Just to like give them a bouquet that says the nastiest thing.
I love it.
All right. Trish, what have you been up to?
It's probably been too hot for Trish to go out to the square of the town to
Probably.
perform. So they've probably been spending a lot of time lounging around the house. If there's like any kind of like swimming hole. They've probably been spending time there. And of course, they've been helping Tati with the garden and trying to convince them to grow something that isn't toxic to the cat, please, or the dog. Like, what if your dog ate this?
Right? Poor Volkir.
Yeah. We are
Volkir knows to eat in the
pet-friendly-
forest.
Pet-friendly home. I don't know, I'm just thinking of my dog that, like, would eat anything he found out in our yard. It'd be like, ooh, mushroom. It's like, no, please don't eat that mushroom, dog.
Yeah.
Weird
It's-
spiders, lizards,
Yeah,
anything.
it's
Anything that moved.
right. It's one of
Smelled
those
like-
days when you're down at the watering hole and a boat, kind of a channel boat, longer. It's got a narrow beam, but it's quite long, and it's got a very small ka-chunkity steam engine, and it's, you know, moving at like 2 or 3 knots. It's not too particularly fast, but one of these really cool little channel boats is navigating its way, and it begins to vector towards the dock that is your property's dock. And I mean, tell me how Trish responds when they see that the boat is, I guess I'm going to say, safely teeming with lots of Nissa. Different
Whoa.
varieties, different colors, different apparent ages. They all still have long beards because, you know, they're cool that way. But there's a score of Nissa on this boat. There are humans. Like there's like a navigator, not navigator. There's like a pilot, somebody who seems to be the captain, and then like one deckhand. And they're moving around, and they seem oblivious.
So there's like 2 humans on this boat.
There are 3 humans on this longboat.
About 3 humans.
3 humans.
But overall, it
score
looks
of
like
Nissa.
that this is like a spirited away type of steamboat. That's pretty cool. Trish is out there like sunbathing. And this is the 1800s, and they're a dumb Irish kid, so they're just probably cherry red at this point. They've got like a straw hat, you know, maybe like one of those old timey swimsuits with like the stripes. I don't know, it's 1850, so I don't even know if that was in style. But they're gonna like kind of oh hey, they're gonna like take their hat off and like wave it at the Nissa, and like maybe one of the humans will wave back, and Trish will be like get out of the way, hey, at the spirits, you know.
Yeah. There's a bit of confusion on the face of the deckhand who's got a line, and he kind of like looks around him like, and then he like hesitantly waves again, and he shouts out, "Hello, could you help us with docking? Could you catch this line?"
Oh, this is a private dock.
But we have a communication for Castle Gillencrates. And he yells back at who is clearly the captain. He says, "Who are we delivering a letter to?" And the captain pulls out this, like, he's got the satchel he pulls out from the oh man, on a sailing boat sometimes they call it the doghouse, the cockpit, and he reads out, "The Society."
Oh yeah, that's us. All right, come in, and I'm guessing that I'm waiting for them to throw me a line, a rope.
So
of some
the lineman throws you a line. Tie that up on that post there, and he points to the post that's furthest. Like, you're tying up the front end of the boat. He runs to the back to grab an aft line, and the pilot, just, you know, doing his job, just gets the boat right up to the dock, and the deckhand with the aft line just starts tying a quick thing around a post there. I don't necessarily think you've got cleats on this dock, but
yeah, I was thinking Trish would be doing the same thing with whatever line they were given. They'd find a post and start wrapping it and tying it. Somehow they know how to tie. I mean, they worked for a circus for half their life, so they probably know how to tie some knots.
The Nissa, as you get a closer look, again, there are a lot of different flavors of colors and stuff, but they all look very grimy and filthy. They they look haggard too. And as the captain steps off, so too does one of the Nissa, who seems to be carrying himself a little bit higher than everybody else. And the captain walks up and he says, I have this letter that I was asked to transport up. It's for the society. Is that you?
I'm one of them. Yeah, I'm part of the whatever society.
Can we take on some water?
I don't know what that means, sir. I've never sailed.
I have a steam engine. We need water. The river's a bit... I would rather if you had a well.
Well, just don't take all of it. You know, I do like to swim.
You swim in your well.
Sometimes. It's cool
Okay.
down there.
I promise not to take all of your well water.
Well. All right.
So he's got the letter out.
Group.
He's got the letter, and I'm assuming you take it from him.
Yeah.
And he barks
run it
at
up to
the deckhand to acquire some buckets, and he asks you, so the well house.
Yeah. I'll show you. Hey, all y'all on the boat that are filthy, feel free to take a dip. All right, let's go. Say that to Vanessa.
The captain looks back at his men like, you guys haven't showered in days, right? He's got that look on him like, how dare you make me look this way? The other Nissa are like, wah! And they kind of jump in because they know the boat's not going anywhere for a while. But the one Nissa who hopped off the boat and is kind of standing next to the captain, he looks at you and he says, I thank you for your what's the word I'm looking for?
Hospitality.
Hospitality. Wow, words. I thank you for your hospitality. They'll be here for a little bit. The deckhand doesn't get stuff done fast. And he kind of looks over at the deckhand and he shouts, you need to work faster! And even though you know that these guys probably don't have the sight, like, you can see visibly, like, the deckhand flinch, like, respond.
Ooh.
And he sort of picks up the pace as he's, like, getting the buckets and getting off the boat. And he comes up to you like, I'm sorry, where's the well?
All right, follow me, kid. He's probably older than Trish.
And you note kind of right away that the Nissa's like, you're good, kind of fast. And then he...
Oh, sorry.
And then
I'll slow down.
He whoops into a rabbit. And then starts making longer strides of he's able to keep up with you a little bit better as he's in rabbit form. And the deckhand kind of like starts and is like, where'd that rabbit come from? Do you have rabbits here?
Oh, we've got all kinds of wildlife in the woods.
Oh, then maybe we can catch it.
I want to catch that one. He looks diseased.
How do you know?
Oh, something about his hop. Look at his ears a little leaning to the left, you know.
Huh. Amazing. Okay. Trish shows the deckhand to the well. Makes their way, I'm assuming, into the castle.
Yes. I take him straight to the property.
Yeah.
Through the property to the house. As I enter the house, I'm like, we have company! I hope you all are decent!
And there's this moment where a gray cat bounds down the stairs into
Cat fashion, have to greet.
Right, and sees the rabbit, and then the cat, Greyfoot bamps out, the rabbit bamps out, and Greyfoot immediately says, "Rude, you salty bastard! How are you doing?" And he walks up and he clasps forearms.
Happy.
And he just shakes, and Rude is like, "Holy, Greyfoot, what are you doing here? I thought you were in Russia still." "Nah, that place sucked. I've moved." "Oh, you're lucky to have a place. It's awful in the south. What are you doing here?" "Well, my ship was down in the south," and Greyfoot's like, "Hold on a second. He's one of those boat Nissa. He hangs out on ships. We're not all farm Nissa. He's a boat Nissa. Get it? And Groon all of a sudden has a realization. Wait, they can. And looks at Trish. Oh, you can see me.
Yeah.
Can everybody here see me? Yeah, all of them except for the butler. Oh no, wait. Oh shoot, I think the butler can see me. The butler can see me, can't he? Oh no, I thought he was a normie, but now that I think about it. Oh no.
I just imagine Greyfoot's just like cleaning himself, like no one's gonna know. No one's gonna know.
Oh, and
The butler's just like,
Tatiana's gonna come around the corner with like a bunch of oleanders and like all of these poisonous flowers, and then in her opposite hand, she'll be like, "I got the catnip to grow. Here, where's Greyfoot?"
Oh, thank you for the catnip. I appreciate
don't like
it.
this. Takes some, eats it. I hate it.
Oh, we're only going to be here for a little bit. I hoped that we would be able to find some help up here. It was hard work, but we've got a boat full of refugees. We've got to find some place to go. Well, don't look at Russia. That place is going to hell in a handbasket. I don't know. This place is not too great either when you think about it. It's really hot. What's going on in the south? Forest fires, farms going under, farmers leaving. There's nobody around. Worse yet, there's no porridge around. Oh, you are kidding me. I haven't had a decent bowl in like 3 days. And as they're talking, right, the Rude is like talking about a lot of what you've heard about, but the most important thing is farms are going under, homesteads are going under by the dozens, and there's this refugee movement of not just Nissa, but of also other Vaesen who are leaving the area. And
A migration.
And Groon says, it was a lot of work, but I convinced that human, and he points to the letter that Trish is, I'm assuming, reading at this point in the program. It's
why
in
not?
chat, by the way. I finally convinced that wrong voice. I finally convinced that human to write a letter. It was a little bit of work, and I dropped a couple of embellishments in there, but I'd heard that the society was back up and running, and well, it seemed like as good of a thing as anything, because there's some strange stuff happening down in Smolandia. Some strange stuff. Smolandia? That's
I was just thinking.
that's way south.
Right, at this point, Ernst would finally wander in from the occult library, clock the new Nissa, and see the letter, and just unabashedly read over Trish's shoulder.
Oh, did you want? Here, you could just.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm just doing just fine right here. And still oblivious and looming.
Should we read it out loud for the audience? I think that's what we did with the last letter we got.
I believe we did.
All right. I'm not doing it this time.
To whom it may concern, my name is Alfred Herenstam, from Herod Parish in Smolandia. I turn to your esteemed society as I see no other solution to my current predicament. It concerns my dear brother and best friend Auguste. All my life he has been very close to me, and together we founded Harid Ironworks by the shore of Lake Herin. There's 2 dots over the A, so I apologize to anybody who speaks this language.
Herida.
Herida.
Yeah, so
Heron.
There's no A at the end of. Oh, it's still gonna be Heron.
Yep.
But Herod is Herida. The
Okay.
H-A umlaut R-Y-D. Herida.
Yeah. By the shore, Herida Ironworks, by the shore of Lake Herin. Our workers scraped up the iron ore from the bottom of the lake, and in the blast furnace we smelted it into ingots. As you've no doubt heard, Smolandia these days is ravaged by drought, crop failure, and poverty. Our beloved parents could not, my voice is all over the place. Our beloved parents could not cope with this ordeal, and they both expired a week ago. I buried them yesterday, and I write these lines in the light of a single candle on our family farm. My dear late mother was interested in the supernatural, and she is the one from whom I learned of your society. I see no alternative but to leave these God-forsaken lands and seek my fortune in America, and I am not intending it to come out as Irish. I apologize.
I'm down for it. I'm not going to try and make him Irish, but you go for it.
I see no alternative but to leave these God-forsaken lands and seek my fortune in America, like so many before me. But I cannot do so without my brother Auguste, who still runs the ironworks. He has cast me out and threatened to kill me if I ever return. Auguste is in the grip of madness. A she-devil in the guise of a preacher has twisted his mind. This woman, Beta Gideon's daughter, presents herself as a proclaimer of God's word, but I suspect that she is in fact a servant of Lucifer himself. I ask you come to our family farm in Herida at the earliest opportunity to smoke out this evil and save my brother's soul. Most respectfully, Alfred Herenstem.
So the Nissa at the Herenstem homestead, he is the one who told me this story, but he was tired and weak and ready to move on, and he was simply going to leave them to their own devices and failures. But I couldn't stand by and let that happen. This is so many different farms and so many different individuals of our kind. Would you please take this up? If there is some devil's work or some kind of human thing that's going on that's ruining the land, we could return all of these Nissa back to their homesteads. Hopefully people will come and take them over again and maybe return to some sense of normal. Of course they will. These guys are great. You're gonna do it, right?
Of course.
These
of
two
course.
Nissa are looking up at you. One very desperately hoping, and the other one's like, "Don't make me look bad."
Stick it up for you, humans.
Tatiana is just going to get a wicked grin on her face and be like, I think my flowers could come in handy. What do you think, Greyfoot?
I don't know if you can poison the heat, but
I
sure.
can poison the preacher woman.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, I suppose so. Is that not gonna get you in trouble with the Almighty or something?
It's okay, I don't believe in him.
Oh. Fair point. Take all the poison you want.
We've managed to get through so much without committing any murders ourselves. I, for one, would like to keep the streak up.
Have you really not murdered anyone? I guess not.
No,
humans.
we have been
Not yet.
remarkably nonviolent.
Most of us are not psychos.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
the
there's
worst
plenty
thing
of
we've
time
done
to
is
change.
Yeah.
Yeah, the worst thing we've done is put down some undead cows.
To be
They
fair,
needed it. They needed it.
Edvard is a soldier.
Yeah.
He might have killed some people in his past. I don't know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Undead cows. That's right. I forgot about the undead cows. The 3-week-old meatloaf.
Tatiana tried setting a building on fire, it just didn't work.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, we're pyromaniacs, not murderers.
That's
I
right.
set a bedsheet on fire.
Oh, was it you, Edward, who set the bedroom on fire?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
With our encouragements.
Yeah.
Let's be fair.
Yeah, you're pyromaniacs. That's
Yeah,
good.
we really
That's good.
are.
I like that.
We're
I like
arsonists, not murderers.
that.
Like, I think
No,
those two
We're
were
in it for the
simultaneous.
insurance.
I think that was
They were, yeah.
simultaneous because she was in the closet and
Yep.
you were on the other
Yep.
staircase being
Yep.
like,
That's true.
oh no, it's on fire. Let's go put it out.
Yep. Anyway, I am going to make my way to the kitchen and gesture for our new friend to follow us and get some porridge out.
Like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. Need to make
oh,
some
they
noise
had
for
on that
guests.
as you're walking off. Oh, they had on that boat was salt tack. What's wrong with you people? As he hurries off to have some real honest to goodness cereal in liquid form.
So we only had the boat Nessa with us. We didn't have any of the humans. They didn't follow us up to the house.
No, the captain and the pilot are on the ship. They're tending to the ship. The captain is ordering folks around as one does. Also they're servicing the steam engine, and the deckhand is bringing water from the well to the ship, probably also to resupply some of their drinking water.
Yeah, makes sense. I was gonna say, like, if they were there, it'd be like kind of a weird thing to watch these four adult humans talk to nothingness.
No, they
Just
stayed
like-
they stayed on their ship. So the ship's probably gonna leave, but do you think it'd be okay to, like, how many Nissa do they have out there?
Oh, they had a whole boat full. Loads. I couldn't even count them all. They're swimming right now in the water, the lake, river, probably a river.
We're not gonna just let them go with the boat to their own. Like, we're gonna set them up to go back, right? Doesn't make a lot of sense to have them leave, right?
You mean
Yeah.
like hold them up here while we fix their home? So
That's
they
a
can go back
great
home?
idea, Trish. I knew you were the brains of the organization.
Whoops! I just invited the right ones in.
Now, Herr Greyfoot, are you confident in being able to take them in, keep them?
Yeah, you have to be in charge of all of them. That's a
Oh,
lot.
piece of cake.
Very well, we leave it in your capable hands.
Thank you. And he sloops back down into his cat and gets to the door and then stops and then looks back up at one of you to open the door.
Yep,
Can't open it.
Ernst does it.
And he zips out towards the dock.
Oh man, I hope we have enough porridge for all these Nessa.
And in
Ernst
the
is-
back,
The whole
in the
summer.
back, about 3 paces off, just kind of leaning up against the wall, is Alget Frisk, and he's like, "I'll put in an order for more
Yeah.
time period appropriate malto meal."
Much appreciated.
This is like summer camp for Nessa.
This is a fever dream. And he turns around and walks back off.
I wish we could stay here and just hang out with the Nessa. So we gotta fix up their home for them
Right.
so they can leave.
Right?
I have a feeling at least one or two are going to take a liking to the castle.
That's good. Greyfoot gets lonely.
He does. And a happy Nissa makes for a happy household.
Yeah. Just-
Yeah.
It's just like adopting more than one cat after you've had one cat that's had the whole house to themselves for years. It's just like, what the frick is this? Why is there another cat in here?
Exactly. All right. So, it's that point in the program again where we get to determine what we're going to do to prepare for our journey.
Yeah.
So Smolandia is in the south, quite a ways away down. So several days stagecoach ride. Probably about 4 days or so, stopping at various inns along the way. As per usual, Alget has offered to make certain that the logistics is taken care of to ensure that you have the right route and the right coaches and the right inns and such, so that your travel is smooth down to the Harita parish where the lake and the homestead are. So it's up to you to determine what it is that you want to do to prepare. Various different
Edward.
things to do to gain an advantage or fun
Edward
tidbits of information. Go ahead, Edward.
is nowhere to be found.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah. It's just been okay.
That's why I've been quiet.
I know. I'm sorry. It was just like
No, that's fine.
So I suppose that Alga is sent a letter to you then, right? Today.
Yeah, I'm just relaxing at home.
yeah.
So
I
I
guess
would.
Trish
I
will go
suspect.
go
Trish.
get 'em.
Yeah, Trish.
Yeah.
That's a hop, skip, and a jump.
Every opportunity they get, they go visit Edward across the woods, over the river and through the woods. Edward's house. Trish goes.
But I think Trish is getting like a half dozen Nissa to go with them, right?
Oh yeah, if I've got a posse now, for sure, I got to show off.
Some of them are like other cats. Some of them are small dogs. Some of them are
like a freaking Disney princess.
It's a
I
Disney
emerged from the
princess.
woods. There's
You have
deer bounding about.
You have a couple of
birds and
birds with
rats
you.
and squirrels and mice.
The
I'm still in the Victorian swim outfit with the straw hat.
you did take pity on the one that is a hedgehog. He's like nestled up somewhere on you.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Those
Nissa
stubby little legs.
can transform into anything. I'm just making them animal specific for the honestly, the Disney princess idea was the one simmering around inside my brain. Edward, you hear a knock on the door, you open it, there's Trish with
I'm not in the house.
Strawberry.
Oh, you're not at the house?
Strawberry red.
No, that's why I said I'm relaxed.
Edward's not at the
Oh.
house. Trish, there's
Oh, no.
bang, 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 bang. Nobody's at the house.
Wait, where are you? Would I know? Would Trish know? All right. Well, I'm gonna let the Nessa know. Hey, you guys go ahead and make yourselves at home here. I gotta go find this guy. I think Edward has a family, so like maybe he's got like kids and a wife.
No one's at the
They're
house.
probably grown up. No. Oh, no. Do you have a
No
vacation
one is
home?
in the house that you can
Oh.
see. No matter how long you spend to investigate, no one is in there.
Oh my god. Okay. Gosh, he didn't tell us where he went, right? So I have no idea.
I mean, he said he was around.
Okay.
He said he
he's-
was going home, but
He's hunting. He's camping. Obviously. All right, you guys. We're looking for. He's wearing a uniform. A big guy, big muscles. Uniform. I'm guessing he's probably crawling around with some mud on his face. Maybe a gun. So be careful. I don't know if guns affect you guys. Probably not. But be careful anyway, because he's probably hungry. He's been out in the wilderness for days, maybe weeks.
I suspect, Edward, that you get notified
okay.
that there are people at the house, and that they've left the house, and they're traveling deeper into your forest.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm now utilizing the talents of the Nissa to help track this man. So maybe there's like a wolf.
And for the first time, your wife says they're beelining for here. Did you tell them where we are?
No. I never told them.
This can't be.
And then I'm just like, right, left all my clothes at the house. Well,
I've always appreciated that.
yeah, of course, dear. I'm sorry. It looks like work calls again.
Duty calls.
Then nice kiss and a bow. It's like, good day, Titania.
Be safe.
And Edward walks directly towards you.
And
Oh,
and
Edward!
before that, as you're leaving, everyone, your wife, the court, they just fade into the flora. They have retreated. They have taken one level of precaution back.
Oh, I'm just getting it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's an interesting name, but I don't know.
And
It's Victorian times, so sure.
The minute you run into Edward, a weird thing has happened. he's only wearing like shorts, and for the first time, you see all over his body's blue runic tattoos.
Oh my god, this is so awesome.
All over. And he seems a little happier. Like,
Yeah,
hello,
yeah.
Trish.
Okay, so like I was like, how does his wife know that we were at the house? I'm like just now getting all of it. Anyway, he comes out of the woods as a tattooed Tarzan type of man.
Yes.
Yeah, like an
Trish
old
is
Gaelic
already
druid.
tomato. Yeah, Trish is already tomato red because of the sunburn, but they're like giving you the face, like, whoa,
Oh,
Edward, what's up?
it's like, oh, sorry, I have some flowers in my hair.
Yeah.
Little indecent at the moment.
Trish is like averting their eyes, like Trish is already in a swimsuit, but like they're somehow embarrassed because they've only ever seen you wear a uniform, so this is totally unnatural for you, to them, you know.
Yeah.
So we've got some guests at the house, as you can see, and like I show the forest animals.
The forest
we gotta
animals
go-
all like almost simultaneously into, 8 various different Nissa, various different
Oh.
flavors, and almost like in unison. They're like, "Hi!"
Hi.
This
Yes,
is really
of course.
cool woods you've got here. One of them pipes up.
Yeah, no, it's a very lovely woods.
You know what
Uh,
would be great here?
What?
A farm. Did you ever think about making a farm?
No, that's perfectly fine. Let's go to my house. I don't have any porridge there, unfortunately. So
Almost in unison, you hear a ah.
Aw.
there should be some at the castle. Like,
Why did we go with them then? They're all looking around at each other, slightly
I thought
confused.
you wanted to meet a new friend. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
but they're like,
Yeah.
no porridge.
let me
I
gather
know.
my things. Let me gather my things in the estate.
Okay. Well, we'll meet you back there. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
So wait, are we staying at his place and waiting for you to come back? Or are we going back to the castle? Or
I'm like, Edward, you meet us back at the castle. We got duty. All right.
Okay.
Get decent.
and the other, one of the
Trish
other
says
Nissas,
wearing a swimsuit.
one of the other Nissas elbows the Nissa just spoke. And is like, didn't you hear they had no porridge at the house? It's out at the castle. Oh, at the castle.
Come on,
We
let's
gotta
get
go
you
to the
guys
castle.
fed. Let's get you guys fed. Come on.
And they poof back into animals.
Back to the back through the forest.
Then, yeah. Everett's like, blast.
Yeah, on the way back to the castle, Trish is gonna be like, I'm so sorry, you guys. I figured he would have been wearing clothes. I have never seen him so. I don't know what he was doing out here. I thought he was hunting. Maybe he was wrestling a bear with his, bare hands.
And
He's very
Also,
manly.
I think, wouldn't they notice too that the forest is oddly cool?
Ooh. Probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
Trish would have noticed that.
Abnormally so.
Yeah.
Huh.
Probably the coolest outside of the water that you have felt.
Yeah. Hey, temp went down a little bit. Is it a little overcast? No? Weird. Must be the shade.
In no due time, Trish
Yeah.
and their battalion return to the castle, followed
Make
sometime
sure
later.
they all get some porridge.
Get some clothes on, man. Followed later
Yeah,
by
Jesus.
one
Indecent.
smartly dressed Edward Skoglin.
Ulza kind of arrives, and those of you who notice him, like, right as he arrives, he's like, oh, pulls a flower out of his hair.
Love it. That's cool.
If it's not poisonous, Tatiana probably doesn't notice it.
It's not poisonous and it's not flowering.
Yeah. It's like a little buttercup, maybe. Maybe like a clover.
All right. Now that the gang is all here, what would you like to do to prepare for your trip?
I think we have to
days
do
by
a
sea
resource
trip.
roll.
Oh, yes.
That's also procurement. We can do procurement first if you want, or we can do both at the same time. Preparation is where you ask your library for clues and things like that.
Oh, okay.
What are you going to do to say to yourself, okay, we're heading to Smolandia. Also, by the way, it's really apparently hot and fiery down there. And something is bad enough that it's driving Vaesen out of the region.
Well,
So,
definitely need some fireproof gear. Do we have any kind of armor that would be fireproof? In this decade, this century?
It never hurts to have medical stuff for treating burns, bandages, and medical equipment.
Maybe harvest some aloe vera from the garden.
Let's see here. As far as protection is concerned, armor is armor. Typically, I don't know to what extent. I'll have to go to the cheat sheet to see if armor has anything against getting burninated.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this.
Let's see here. Burninating is a force roll. It's not a... Yeah, armor isn't necessarily, I think, going to help with any kind of fire. Let's see here. Yeah, I think the closest thing would be... any kind of medical equipment or whatnot. I mean, there's always the other things that you can grab on your way down. The things that you think you might need. We all know that you need a slide rule. So yeah, if you want to do a resource roll now and figure out what your spending cash is.
Maybe Tatiana could do some research on some kind of ointments that she could produce from the garden. That could help.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She's got a deal to make with Greyfoot. Because Stellan has been trying to get her to plant things that are not poisonous. So aloe vera, barley, tomatoes, cucumbers, and beets. So she's going to procure these plants in order to make the salves. And so that's kind of what she's doing while waiting for Edvard, is kind of learning how to, create these healing and soothing salves and whatnot. But also, after she goes home from talking to Stellan, figuring out how to process the poisons using the same techniques. But also, she's cutting deals with Greyfoot. So she has wheat, she has barley, she has all of these. And so it's I will give you 10 barley seeds if you make sure that, there's plenty of beets when I get back, because I need to have my lipstick.
This is getting really Settlers of Catan here.
And
Wait, but you can eat beets. You don't have to you can eat beets.
You're free to eat the beets. I just need enough to make my cosmetics. Cosmetics are expensive. I need to start manufacturing my own.
Oh, okay. I like that little homestead, little off-grid action. I get that.
So just kind of
off-grid.
What's the grid?
What's the grid?
I had no idea what I just said there. What's the grid?
I think Edvard is going to go to the workshop to sharpen and polish his saber.
All right. So, working on the workshop for the saber. Greyfoot is going out and finally getting his Farmville on. Tatiana is working on a medicine healing salve sort of thing. That takes us to...
She's also, in her writing journal, she's also creating these kind of dried flower montages. But this is also how she's smuggling out the 2 poisons she's going to take from the gardener, is having them arranged so it's like monarch butterfly wings with like hellebore flowering vine or something, and it just looks really pretty. And it's, I'm just doing this for meditation, not this is a batch of tea that I'm going to enjoy that has
Yes.
ginger and honey in it.
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
on the next page this is going to cause someone to experience the same symptoms as Ryson.
Oh God.
This is just how
Jesus.
she's preparing. But she did listen to Tridge and the group and is working with like aloe vera and cucumber and kind of soothing salves and medicines as well.
Oh, I know what I could do. Sorry. Okay.
Go for it.
Trish is going to be fishing for information. They're going to be dishing out the porridge and asking the Nessa what they have seen, like what this creature is like if they've seen it, and
Yeah.
how bad is the damage, and what's the fire like,
Yeah. That's awesome. Awesome. And then Ernst.
Ernst is going down to the university, but not to his own offices. He's going to the department next door, and he is talking to some of his colleagues in religious studies. And he is asking around to see if anybody knows someone who has any connection to this Beata Gideon's daughter.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so you're not using the occult library?
Nope, we got it, and I am completely ignoring it right now.
Oh
Outstanding. Outstanding. Very good. So,
no! Literally what I thought you were gonna do. Just
I know,
trying to
I
look
was
this
like-
up.
that's right.
We just got your toy.
We zigged and Ernst zagged. It's fine.
Yep.
It's great. So,
Ernst is a wily old man.
So fickle.
Tatiana, let's go ahead and make a medicine roll.
Okay.
The number of successes will be multiplied by 2, giving you a number of doses. That's a lot of 2s. That is a lot of 2s.
So I think what happens is she was trying to make medicine, but she's a good soul. She's trying so hard, but her mind's on her medicine. So instead of making like soothing like sun sickness creams, she's making like a moisturizer or something like
That's
that.
basically what this first attempt is. Or that's what it will basically be, unless you want to push it.
If I push it this early, how quickly will she break?
You're gonna spend a scene in the butterfly house and heal 2 mental conditions.
Okay. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I'll
That's
push.
why you're upgrading your facility. You can mitigate a lot of this early.
Yep. Why is it saying physical condition for medicine?
Because
it's
it's
precision.
precision. Whoops. Do we have something that can heal? Well, you can take a scene and heal. You can have a scene and heal literally 2 conditions, period. They can be physical or mental. Let me double check the cheat sheet for healing.
Smear a magical butterfly on you.
Yeah, you just rest for a scene.
I think I still failed. Can I push a second time?
Yes? Have we done that before?
No,
I
because
don't
it's
think
always
we
been
have.
very dangerous.
Right.
Usually I don't have a butterfly garden to retreat to.
Right.
That's true.
Here, hang on here a second.
It's like you accidentally
Having
consume one
failed,
poisonous
whatever
butterfly,
you can choose
consume
to
another
muster
one.
your strength and give it one more
Heal.
try. This can only be done once per action.
Oh, no.
Okay, good to know.
So
Well,
I again because I'm an evil GM. I'll give you 1 week dose.
Of medicine.
That's what this moisturizer ultimately has become. This is 1 week dose.
Yep.
It smells lovely.
And I think it's not that she prepared it, it's that Sidna is like, it's 10 fucking o'clock. I want to go home. I'm just going to take over really quick and mix this so it combines
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah. That sounds good. Let's see here. So, let's see here. Edward, you are giving yourself an advantage with your saber.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes us to Trish, who is talking to the Nissa. Yes?
yes, I'm fishing for information.
Well,
I'm like asking for them to tell us anything that they know to help us save their home.
yeah, Rude takes you to the actual Nissa from the Heronston homestead. And he, hey, Thrum, come over here for a sec. No, that's Greyfoot. Thrum, come over here for a quick second. And a very small, well, no, he's feeling a little better because he's had some porridge now, but he looks just dejected, and he comes over and, yeah, Rude, what's up, Rude? And Rude said, tell them, oh my goodness, Greyfoot will not go away. Tell them about the homestead. Tell them about your old homestead. Well, it was a nice little homestead. The Harmstons, well, at least that's what they call themselves now. They've been there for a few generations. They're nice people, good, farming people. The most recent mother is a follower of the old ways, and she fed me well, and it was fine until everything dried up, and then everything, the ground caked up, and the mud split into cracks, and then the animals died, and then the flies came, and it was more than I could. Literally, there was plenty of water. It's just that when it got to where we were, it all just evaporated away, and it was and he's really trying to hold it together. You can see the failure on Thrun's face as he's retelling this tale of having failed to protect. Like, here was a family that was supporting him, and it's his job to help support them, and he couldn't do it. And he continues on, and he says, when the boys left to go start the ironworks, things got a little better, and money came in, and they were able to afford things, but all the money that they had couldn't bring life back to the farm. And then Alfred came back, and he looked sad. Apparently he was kicked out by his brother, and then he had to bury his parents, who couldn't. They starved to death. They were too proud to leave. They starved to death.
How long had this been going on? Is this years or just 1 year?
The drought is this last several months.
Wow, so fast.
It was very fast. It was very rapid climate change, yes. But the brothers, well, they've been running their ironworks for about 10 years.
Oh, so the ironworks happened before this drought.
Oh, yes. They've been very prosperous. They took good care of their parents. I was very proud of them. I was hoping they would come back and man the homestead, but, there was enough money. They could have hired some helping hands. I was hoping one of them might have gotten married and come back, but, they're still young, and I think the parents would still be alive if things hadn't changed for the worse.
But you never saw any kind of activity from other spirits or other Vaesen?
Running away.
Just escaping.
It's so hot.
Escaping the property.
It's so hot. Wait, animals were dying even though they was, the locals were trying to take care of each other, and there are sources of water, and they were bringing in the water to keep the animals alive, but it was so hot they just fell over of exhaustion and just died. So
and
people are leaving. Vaesen are leaving.
And this was all of the Smolandia, all of this town.
So like Smolandia is more like a it's a region.
I was about to ask if it was like a county or
if
something
you were to
like
look
that.
for it, if you were look for it today, it occupies several modern day I don't want to call it counties. I don't know what they call them in Sweden, but
yeah,
like if you were to look for that region today, it's a region that is an older region, but it's carved up politically by modern day boundaries.
Okay. So this whole area, Smolandia, this whole area has been affected by this drought.
My understanding is the whole south of the peninsula has been affected by drought, but our area appears to be the hardest hit. Like the whole kingdom's in crisis. There's a heat wave going on. It's hot up in Uppsala. It's But more recently the fires came. Outbreaks of fire here and there.
If there's no water, I mean the plants are probably crisp and ready to be kindled. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're probably not dealing with a particular Nessa that's starting the fires, but definitely maybe a Nessa that's causing the drought.
An anti-neck.
An anti-neck. Reverse neck.
Ken?
Ken.
Okay.
All right. I think I got everything I needed. We'll assume that all the others told a similar story.
Like the other, he's the Thrun is the one that's on the actual homestead. The other Nissa talk about similar stories. Very, some the people left. The mom and dad of this particular homestead, they stayed and perished. But lots of people are leaving, and when the people left, the Nissa left. And as they leave to go other places, they're also seeing other, whether it's people on the road, they're telling stories of refugees by the thousands. Some are leaving for the South, some are leaving for America. They're selling what they can and getting on boats, or some are making their way north to look for work in the cities. So there's just this mass migration out of the region. And they speak of other what would be a reasonable list of there some talk of encounters with fairies who are leaving their traditional areas. There's just the drought is too much. Even their magics are incapable. They're leaving for other areas that they know where they have relations that they can wait it out. One tells the story of a troll that they met going the opposite way, and that Ness was like, so why are you going that way? And the troll says, because all the humans are going the opposite direction, and trudges into the wasteland whistling a happy tune. That's the sort of stuff that you're hearing as there's just this, this ecological upheaval going on in the South. Let's throw some chaos in here. Let's go fishing. Let's have you roll a learning.
Ooh, okay. Who's this out? Learning. Aha! Pretty dumb. I learned nothing useful.
No, you've learned some useful stuff.
Well, yeah, I did. I mean, I know I did.
Yeah.
I don't know if Trish picked up on any of it.
All right. So, speaking of learning, Professor Magnuson,
Yes.
heading off to talk to the more faithful of his coworkers. What are you doing to try to track down information regarding one Beta Gideon's daughter?
Well, I assume that I know which of my colleagues have which specializations, and
Mm-hmm.
she sounds like a local itinerant preacher, so I'm going to be kind of making inroads there, asking around with my colleagues kind of who's got the best expertise on that, for lack of a better word, scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, I'm going to have one of my colleagues for coffee and start dropping questions like it's an interrogation here, because Ernst Magnuson is not exactly about the subtle.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. So, let's see here. What do we want to roll?
You know what?
Hmm.
It's not my best role,
Yeah.
but this is one of those places where the mechanics and the fiction work together.
Yeah.
I happen to have, as part of my equipment, liquor that can be used to add to
yes.
manipulation rolls.
Yes, let's do that.
That's cool.
That makes me happy. Do it.
Oh, sorry. It's inspire. Excuse me.
Yes, that makes sense. Inspire makes
So-
sense, yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to inspire with a +1 here with the liquor. So I'm going to liquor up my colleague, and
Well. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. It's one ungrateful human being, let me tell you. Sure, I know her. I converted her, you might say. She was just a farm girl. I was out for the summer doing my circuit. Happened to do my usual spiel, and she got real excited. And then she started to change. Very quickly, I went from somebody who opened her eyes to God to part of this growing movement of anti-church followers. They call us ossified. Well, She got in with the wrong crowd, and she took up this mantle of you don't need no church. You don't need any help in understanding the Almighty. And the next thing I knew, she was out preaching on her own. No degree, no training, no nothing. I mean, that's fine to talk to your friends across the hedge about spiritual matters, but to lead a flock astray with your own do-it-yourself learning, well, anyway, she's one of those folks.
I see.
More and more of them are out there.
There's less and
I'm
less
not
respect for
backwards
tradition these days.
That's not such a bad thing, right? A little tradition didn't hurt anybody.
Ernst very carefully bites his tongue there.
Last time I heard, she was very good at what she was doing. A lot of people listened to her. You're asking me a very specific name. What do you know? You know where she is now?
Not precisely. We've heard tell that she's been preaching down in Smolandia.
Smolandia? Ha! She went right into the middle of hell then to preach about hell, I suppose.
I suppose she thought it was an appropriate setting.
She's a weird one. Here comes your second success. She's a weird one. She had fixations about the devil and the ways that the devil means to take guys, and she sees the devil in everything, even when I would argue there isn't no devil there. But she did a lot of research. She did a lot of research about different things that are heretical, supernatural, old ghost stories, Vaesen, and that sort of thing.
And she took them seriously, took them as more than just stories.
To her, those stories were but the mistellings of the devil. So she took it upon herself to research them and arm herself against them.
Most heretical indeed.
It's one thing to go out and show people the light. It's another thing to assume that your adversary is in every nook and cranny. Even I'm not that naive. But she's armed. If I know what you study, Professor. You wouldn't study it if you weren't committed to it. I think you're wrong. But let's just say for a moment you're not. As somebody who supports that and researches and study it, there's nothing that says that what she found to fight Vaesen can't be used to fight humans either.
I see. No, based on...
If you come across any of the books that she's stolen from this university, I would love them back.
Of course. Do you have a list of titles?
I just heard that she had stolen some books. I don't know what those books are. Maybe the librarian, but that was several years ago. They may have just given them up for lost. But if she has any books on them, they're ours.
If I cross paths with her, I shall keep a lookout.
These are old books. Some of them are... One of them, for sure, I was told was medieval.
That is a great loss to the university.
Are you going after her?
Well, I've gotten a letter asking for some assistance. Uh, Not someone directly involved with her, but there's a young man whose brother has fallen in with her, and he's hoping that someone with, well, my background and experience can assist in some way. Uh, at first, I was a little bit confused, I admit, that they would be looking for a scholar of folklore when the problem is an itinerant preacher, but this makes much more sense now.
Well, be careful and travel safe. It's I understand it's quite dangerous down there now.
Yeah, these are strange times indeed.
Yes, hopefully this breaks. Hopefully a change in the weather. Hopefully fall gets here soon enough.
I'll drink to that. Skull.
All right. Couple of days of preparation, and I'll get Frisk informs you that your coach is arriving soon. Greyfoot insists he'll be able to keep the army of Nissa in order, and it's time to reap what you have purchased. So let's do our resource rolls, because over these last couple of days, you've probably done a little showcase showdown.
Yep.
All right. Here
So
we are.
I have
That's about
7
right.
resources, which means I get a +3 to my roll, and I start with 8.
I don't remember how to do this.
So there's a resource.
Oh, there it
So we
is.
start with 9 from me.
Yeah, there's a resource button on your sheet.
We don't add anything to
Am
it,
I
do
able
we?
to push these?
Unless you're wealthy. Oh no, it depends on
Oh.
it depends on your level of
Yeah,
wealth.
your resource level
No.
gives you something.
Wow.
Do you just
Look.
have 1 resource?
Yeah.
Then your bonus is -1. So even if you got something that actually didn't count.
I mean,
Cool.
again, right?
This is a good game.
This is
Yep.
God, I have not rolled very well
I'm
on any of
helping.
these.
I am blind. I'm trying to find the resources.
Under
Inventory
inventory.
tab,
Okay.
bottom left.
There it is.
And at my resource level, I've got a
Hey!
+1 and 2 capital, so I'm contributing 3 to our pool.
And if I have 2, do I have a -1 or a 0?
You are straight roll.
Okay, so I have
I'll-
1.
No capital.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
So I got 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 resources.
Mm-hmm.
Tatiana's not asking. She's spending 1 on makeup. So like
Okay.
she made money working for Stellan, and she like spent the money before she
Absolutely.
came home that day.
Add makeup to your inventory. Yep.
Yep. And then what item should I add as the weak healing?
Let's just call it medical equipment for right now. Just add 1
Okay.
medical equipment. And also, what are you taking off of? Because you get a choice. I thought with Cigna, you can either take 3 doses of weak poison, or you can take 1 dose of strong poison. Because you get that for free.
Yep.
Mhm. Does that expire every session?
You
Or every...
until you guys get a shoot, what's it called? Headquarters upgrades. There's a thing that you can get that can
is it
allow
a
you to keep
vault?
It's a vault of some sort, whatever it's called.
Oh, okay.
You can add that on. You have to get something else before the vault, though, I think.
Let's see.
It's a cellar vault. Oh, there's no prerequisite. Yeah. A cellar vault will allow you to keep 3 common items or weapons from previous mysteries. But in this case, your poison...
With poisons and stuff, since we get it replenished every time,
it's not a big deal.
Expires by the time the next... Yeah.
I don't know if it expires or the fact that she had a weak poison, she got irritated with people in town and just...
Tatiana.
Anyone like the door-to-door
my
Mormons who come to town.
Jesus Christ, dude.
We're gonna have to deal with Tati before we deal with this Beata person.
Tati's going through this villain arc that we are like not even aware of.
We won't be until she slips it into our tea.
This is for giving my dad a bad review on Google.
Yeah. Don't piss Tati off, whatever you do, guys.
Right.
Jesus.
Yeah. Someone accused her of being a devil worshiper or something, or tried forcefully converting her to Catholicism, and she's just like, thank you so much, and then just like rubs like Queen Anne's lace onto the back of their hand with her gloved hand, and is like, it's so nice to talk to you, and then walks away before they realize what happened.
Jesus, dude.
I mean, she's just causing rashes and upset stomachs. It's weak poison.
Yeah.
It's fine.
No. Still fucked up. I wanted the butterfly garden because I thought it would be cute and fun to garden, but I just turned it into this evil thing.
Yeah.
You have an evil witch in your party. I'm sorry.
I know,
This is her origin story.
That's really what's happened.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I was not aware we would be here for her start of darkness.
Like an adventure from now, Tatiana's going to start having little followers. All of a sudden, we're going to have a coven on board.
God.
All right. Edward, what are we buying?
These are some ideas I came up with. Crowbar, lockpicks, map book, and rope.
Somebody didn't hold on to the lockpicks?
I think that would be Trish. Trish, did you hang on to lockpicks?
I mean, I didn't get rid of them. Let's see. Yeah, they're in my inventory still. I've got a jitterbox, lockpicks.
That was the only.
Dagger,
that was the only. Oh wait! Weren't you given a dagger?
Me?
That was Tatiana.
I want to say I started with a dagger, but maybe I was given
Nope. If you're
maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's probably the item that you held on to.
You're asking me to remember what happened a
year
ago.
Right.
I know I held on to binoculars.
Right.
Ernst held on to a hurricane lamp.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what Tatiana held on to.
Anything that can cause harm. You know the dagger is still there.
That's for sure.
The dagger.
There you go, dagger. Okay.
Excellent.
So that's 5 plus the 1 is 6. So we still have 6 resources left. I wanted medium armor just so that I could tank a little bit.
Do it.
That's 3 though, so that would leave us with 3 resources.
There's
a
portable laboratory on the site which says produce poison.
We're not giving you more poison.
But it would require Ernst because she doesn't have the learning to pull it off.
And I think get you the armor and leave us 3 resources to spend while we're down there seems like the play to make here.
Oh man, would he have actually held on to yeah, he would have held on to the binoculars instead of the helmet I had last time. I would be returning that to procurement.
Yep.
Okay.
Those
So that
quartermasters, you gotta do right by them.
Oh yeah, no, of course. Like on pirate ships, the quartermaster was the one running the ship.
Yep. All right. Unless there's anything else that I'm forgetting or something that you want to do, I think we can transition to our stagecoach ride.
Yeah. Scene
Ta-
change.
Real quick, Tatiana's going to spend a scene with Trij in the butterfly garden,
Nice. Let's do it.
and just really quick, just gonna like lead Trij in, covering her eyes, and have them sit down on the bench, and then just uncover her eyes, and there's ladybugs and just a rainbow of butterflies everywhere and beautiful plants. And she's just going to be like, look at the colors, smell the flowers.
Oh, Tati, you
just-
did it.
It's just so beautiful, and she's not mentioning the poison and is keeping her creepo factor as 0 level as possible to give Trij this perfect memory for them to start the adventure with.
What did Tatiana have to do
Beautiful.
to keep all the Nissa away? Because there's now about 40 Nissa crawling all over the compound.
They are the insects.
I
that are
don't
poisonous.
think they are what is ruining it. It is Tatiana's desire to kill Sam that is causing all of the chaos. So all she has to do is focus on the positive, and like the flowers, or sorry, the rabbits, and the ferrets and dogs running around. That's
Did
just
you
gonna be
actually?
Is that
perfect.
You actually got some of the Nissa to be animals for this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
is that the defining moment that turned you evil? Was getting locked in that goddamn closet by that fucking
Closets are a
Winchester
bad thing, man.
bastard.
She begged for a redemption arc, and the threat is still out there, but it's beautiful poison lady for now.
I just love how it's like the effect they have on like all of the female characters within that show has somehow happened to you, and you've become evil now. A force of nature we have to stop.
I know, and I think Edward would actually like in his mind he's like, that Sam ever shows up again, I'm just gonna be like the Family Guy scene, I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him.
Yeah.
I just want to kill him. I just want to talk to him.
I love it.
Yep. Outstanding.
But again, this is kind of a meditation scene that she wants to give Trij to carry with them for the adventure of, we're about to go into danger. It's going to be chaotic. Enjoy this beautiful piece of nature that we've worked on in our castle, in our new butterfly garden, with all of the wild Nissa. Like, someone turns into a squirrel and like climbs up on your shoulder and starts trilling.
Oh,
They're trying to sing, and they're just like, you promised me fucking 14 cherry pies after this. This had better be worth it.
Trish will absorb this moment and this nature, and maybe feel a little bit inspired to go out and figure out what has become of the desolate Smallsville, or whatever the place is called. Smolandia. Smallsville.
All right.
I was muted for all of that.
No,
What?
I heard
Yeah,
you.
we heard you.
Yeah.
Talking about being smothered to death in the carriage?
Oh, no. What?
No, we missed that.
We did not. We
I
did not
didn't
hear
know that was happening.
Yeah. Sorry, we went from this really this beautiful visual of a greenhouse full of life to smothering in a carriage. What?
Mhm.
What? Where does that leap come from?
Well, Tatiana's
know
not
where
that.
he should-
Tatiana's not that far off as the coach ride begins. the further south that you go after the first day, it is noticeably warmer, and even though the carriage is moving, it's hot. It's not pleasant inside that carriage. And going into the second day, it begins to impact your travel time. It's taking longer to get to the next inn. The horses are laboring now as it's getting warmer as you travel further south. About midway through these first couple of days, the question I ask of you is, what is it that you're doing during the coach ride to prepare yourself further? What sort of advantage would you think your character would be building towards as you are making your way south to Smolandia?
This is where Ernst is actually going to be making use of the occult library.
Okay.
Knowing that Beata here has taken some books, been doing some studying, some research, appears to be following in the footsteps of Sandeman and a bunch of other fun opponents. Ernst is picking up, I believe I'm trying to remember if the Castle Gillenkreutz library had all of the Malleus...
The Malleus Maleficarum?
Yes. Or if it was just pages from it.
No, it's the whole thing is there.
Okay. Then that is something he has packed with him, and he's looking at everything that a small and malicious-minded person might be using as a weapon against Vaesen or humans.
Got it. Outstanding. Would you do a learning check for me, please?
I would love to do a learning check for you.
No reason.
None whatsoever.
Outstanding. Another thought occurs to you. Doing a little recon in the region, and you thumb through the library, and you come across a book. The book is called Myths and Folktales of Smolandia.
Oh,
I know, right? Crazy, right? And so you pick that up as well. And that's going to be some of your reading on your trip down. But as far as, so that's success number 1. Success number 2 is going to be, help me out here. What were you gunning for, Ernst? Were you gunning for an investigation, an observation? What advantage were you thinking was going to be the most? Like, you want to be able to spot it, or you want to be able to understand what it can do?
That's a great question. Pardon me while I get myself reacquainted with the system here. And so, narratively speaking, I am trying to think, okay, if she's going to be using this on a Vaesen we would not like dead, or on a person we would not like dead, how can we counter it? So I'm looking for a way to ID what she's doing, and or find a counter against it.
That feels like learning.
Okay.
That feels like learning to me. So learning, especially when dealing with if some type of, she produces an object and you're like, aha, right?
Yeah.
You would be able to know what it does.
Okay.
All right, cool. So go ahead and make a note of that.
Sorry, I just want to clarify. Is this against Beata or against Tatiana?
I mean, I am studying against Beata.
Beata for now.
But if you've pulled some of your stuff from the Malleus Maleficarum, I'm on to you.
Speaking of
Just double check.
Tatiana, Edward will be cleaning his gun.
Okay.
Not. I was just doing that for the funny. It's not because of that.
Okay. All right. Other advantages.
I was wanting to clean his pistol. Edward was wanting to clean his pistol.
Ah, I got it. I'll give you an advantage on one ranged. Go ahead and make a note of that.
Might as well. Since I am the combatant, I might as well get advantages on them.
All right.
I got one for each.
Trish.
We've gotten a bit more murdery.
I think you're reading appropriately into the gravity of the situation. I did hint that this was the culmination of the 4 stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also that, like, I as a player recognize that at least one of us has to be kitted for combat.
Yeah.
So
True statement.
my character is already kind of that way. I'm never doing everything I can.
Good on you there.
Yep.
I am guiding the smart people to do the actual job.
Excellent. Trish, over these first couple of days.
On the cart or
On the carriage, coach ride, yep.
on the carriage? On the carriage, Trish is probably bored and hot, so they're going to be practicing their card tricks, and sticking their, like, probably torso out of the window like a dog, just like, oh, it's so hot, you know.
Yeah. So what's the card trick you're working on?
It's like a new one that they haven't performed yet because they haven't really had time to go. It's been too hot to go to the square, so they've been maybe inventing their own tricks, you know. I'd say that, you know, they do a lot of, like, sleight of hand and cards up the sleeve, but maybe they're trying to utilize their hat more. You know, try to hide stuff within the hat.
You know what a matrix? You know what the matrix is? The card trick, the matrix. It's where you put cards down on a table, and you usually have like 4 cards, and you hide coins underneath them, and you move it in such a way that you move the coins from one card to another, or the coins disappear, and then you move the cards. You take the cards off, and the coins have disappeared. Right? It's a matrix. So I think you're working on you've got like you've managed to get a flat surface. You know, there's probably a plank that they use to help get the wagon wheels out of a rut or whatever, and you've borrowed that plank, and it's across Ernst's lap too, and you've got cards out there, and you've got some coins, and you're working on the sleight of hand to be able to move the coins under any card that you want. You're able to make coins disappear, make coins reappear. You're learning how to dump the coins off the table as a way of being able to procure them back out of the drop, and learning how to distract and whatever. So we'll give this a plus. We'll give this an advantage on stealth.
Okay.
Basically, if you are going to try to use a series of objects to move something or take something or to insert something into the scene.
Okay. Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
I like that.
Excellent.
I guess I could add that to my inventory.
Or add it as a note on your character sheet.
I'll put it in a note. Yeah, and then I'll do that.
Cool. All right, Tatiana, what are you doing?
What would be useful for her to do, and what is she actually doing? Okay. They take a rest at some point during the trip, right?
Yeah, day 2, the horses need to stop more.
So she's got her makeup on, she's got her elegant disguise ball gown on, but
you must be dying under that.
She's searching for her next whatever, I don't know. Some minutes she calls it a patron, next it's the love of her life, next it's a willing slave. Like, it's not working out for her. And so she's just still upset that she's sent Sam the third challenging note and nothing has come of this, that she's just kind of doodling in her notebook and it turns into kind of automatic writing as she's
Sure
drawing
does.
plants bursting into flames and just
Sure
kind of she
does.
enters a meditative state.
Yes, she does. I'm so glad we're on the same wavelength. You dip into this automatic writing. It's very appropriate. It's almost as if you had read my mind. The plants burning and catching on fire. Maybe all of this concern about drought and heat and just the oppressiveness of the environment has influenced that, and your consciousness lets go of your hand and you start writing, and this is at a stop, and you've probably distanced yourself from everybody else a little bit, right? Edvard is, always looking around for trouble. Ernst is somewhere, reading, one of the books that Ernst has brought. Trish is looking for a pond, a creek, a river, probably, I'm guessing.
She's also in like 16 layers, so she's also really snappish and she has a
Yeah.
lot of poison, so I think the
Yeah.
others might be avoiding
It's
her.
like when you- And
It's a very cramped carriage.
it is.
Yeah.
You're drawing these plants and on fire, and sometimes your thought goes into the automatic nature of the writing, and it's no longer a plant that's on fire. You start sketching in your mind. It's weird because you're writing and you're doodling the sketch, but in the automatic state, those reverse. You're working now more in detail on an image, and there are almost like notes off on the side. And the image you draw from a passerby looks like a door. It's a very Romanesque style door, rounded arch at the top. The door, however, doesn't exist. It's just a threshold. It's an archway, but it looks like it's for a door. The interior is where the fire is, and the fire isn't, the fire didn't happen on purpose. The door was the door there, and you're vaguely aware that your pen is failing, and drops of ink come out of the pen and hit the paper, and then you, frustrated by it, you think you're consciously, but what you're really realizing is that you're all along for the ride. You blow on that ink splot, and an ink splot fans out. And it fans out into what you're seeing are some vaguely flame shapes, and so you begin to add some to it, and the ink isn't flowing very well, and the every attempt at controlling what is this flame inside this threshold, inside this arch, is failing, and the flames, the flickers, it outreaches, and it begins to move out more, 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 and it feels like you're dominating the whole paper, and then your hand hurts. Your hand hurts. Your hand hurts. Your hand hurts. It hurts, Tatiana. Your hand hurts.
Do I drop the pen?
Do you?
Or
Or do you hold on to it? Do you end the session?
no?
It hurts.
She's mad and she's picturing burning someone to death, so she keeps going.
The closest
This
person
is therapeutic for her.
Edvard, you look over at Tatiana, and her hand is literally on fire.
I think he takes his jacket off to try to put it out.
Right?
No, don't ruin the image.
Edvard, the page of the book is completely black. but
Okay.
it doesn't look like paper anymore. It looks like burned paper. And I think Tatiana rustles a little bit. Don't mess up my drawing, and rustle a little bit. And that sheet of paper breaks and crumbles. It is just carbon now. The pen that you smothered, when you take it back off, the pen is warped. Char. Tatiana, your hand still hurts as you hold it and you look at your hand. I don't know if anybody's ever been hit with a really good bacon grease burn, but your fingers have white striations of severely burned skin. Your thumb, your forefinger, your index finger, and it hurts. It hurts.
Why will this man not die?
Edward, you can see these burns
Tati,
on Tatiana's hand.
Are you okay?
I'm gonna begin to try to treat them. Like,
So,
if I need to get some like water on some cloth to be like, here, you gotta cool that down. It's like,
mm-hmm.
I think actually what drew Edward's attention to her hand going off is that a little flame kind of clipped a little bit of gunpowder that he had and went, he was like, whoa.
Right?
Because he was cleaning his guns at the time.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
oh,
Mhm.
God.
Tatiana, you have sustained a critical injury.
Uh-huh.
Okay. The closest one that I could find
Mm-hmm.
was, let's see here. It's a physical critical injury, and it's the closest thing that I could find was nerve damage. So that basically means that you have a -1 to your force.
Well, I already have 0, so I will just auto-fail force. We're good.
But more importantly is that your right hand, for the foreseeable future, until there can be some work done on it, is almost like unusable, as the pain, the burning, and your writing equipment, like your pen, is destroyed.
So the page I was drawing on
Yeah.
was burnt to a crisp.
It-
What about
it-
the rest of the book?
Nope, just that drawing.
Okay.
Just that page.
So she still
Those-
has her tea and like make
Mhm.
you ill concoctions. Okay.
Yep.
So, did Edward notice anything with the page? Like, maybe like that might a perception roll might pick up? Maybe
I
like
think
the
by the
hints on
time
drawing?
that you were aware of a fire, when you came over there, that page was already
Okay.
scorched.
Just trying to see if there was some residual magic and it, like, not.
No.
Fair enough.
No, and she'll try redrawing it with her non-dominant hand, which is actually her right hand, and it's just
Oh.
like a half circle with like little like triangles to represent the fire.
Yeah.
And then like the triangles get bigger outside of the half circle, and it just looks like a toddler.
Yep. And as Edward is treating Tatiana's wounds, and people are kind of marveling at this instance that has happened, you've seen some strange things, but you've never seen Tatiana's handiwork catch on fire before. That's where we're going to call it for our first episode of Seasons of Mystery Summer, entitled Fireheart. Oh, there we
Wrong
go.
button. Wrong button. I'm sorry.
So hopefully we'll see everybody in 2 weeks. Until then, take care, and we'll chat y'all later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.